This one time at band camp, many years ago when I used to be a teenager, my dad and my stepmom, they made me live with my grandma, and my grandma would be sitting there reading a book, and she would cross her legs in her chair, and she'd have her legs wide open, and I don't know if she was wearing see-through underwear or if she didn't have any underwear on at all, but I'd say, "Ew, Grandma, I can see your whole coochie." And my grandma would just, guess what she'd say? My grandma would just be like, "Don't look." And I'm like, "Grandma, this apartment is so small. How can I not look?" Grandma did not give a flying flip that her coochie was just all showing and her bush was just all popping out. I'm like, what the fuck? So I don't know. I think I ran in the room or went outside or something. I don't know. But she didn't care at all that her cooch was just hanging out. I'm like, oh my gosh, Grandma, you nasty Grandma. And then when I was living with my grandma, I'd come home from school, right? And sometimes she'd be cooking cauliflower, and she would overcook it. She'd cook it too long, and she'd cook it too hot. So when I came home from school, it would smell like rotten feet, death armpits. I was like, "Grandma, ooh, what is that smell?" And she'd be like, "That's cauliflower." And I'd look in the stove, and the cauliflower was like all mushy. I was like, "Ew, Grandma, it's all mushy." And she's like, "It's good, just eat it." And I'm like, "I'm not eating this. No." I am so glad I escaped out of there from my grandma. Woo! Thank God. Thank you. I could not take it any longer living there. That's why they made me live with my grandma. So I can be tortured by her. And they thought I was a burden on them, so they just dumped me off there like I was a piece of garbage. But anyways, back to happier things. Well, funnier things. When I was living with my grandma, she didn't have a car, right? So I had to either walk everywhere or I had to take the city bus everywhere. And that shit sucked ball dick ass. So one time I was in the back of the bus, right? And I'm probably about 16 or 17 years old, right? And I'm just chilling in the back of the bus, right? And this one old lady, she's back there too, right? She pulls out like a little shot thing of some strong shit, like one of those little shot things. And she just pulls something out and she's like, you want a shot of this?" And I'm like, "No, I'm 16. Ain't that crazy? That's twisted." And then one time I was down at the bus station and there was this one old lady. She was sitting in Indian style, right? She was sitting on her head. Like, what the fuck? She was sitting in Indian style, but on her head smoking a cigarette that she had rolled up herself. And I'm just thinking, like, what? This is the middle of downtown at the bus station in Knoxville, Tennessee. And I'm thinking, like, Am I still on planet Earth? Am I in some other dimension? She's just sitting in Indian style on her head, just chilling, smoking a cigarette. I'm like, what? I really wish I had I probably didn't even have a cell phone then. I don't know, I probably didn't. No, I don't think I did. Or if I had a cell phone, I was probably so poor, I don't even think the phone could take pictures. Or if it took pictures, it was probably just some shitty pictures. Like, ugh. I had to buy my own cell phone. Like, my parents did not even buy me a cell phone. Like, ain't that some bullshit? Like, and I had like this raggedy phone. It was so raggedy. But I think that lady died. I'll think of something else funny here in a second. I'll be right back. Somehow, I convinced my uncle to live in the apartments that I lived at with my grandma. But for a while, I don't think he had a job or something. Then he was working at McDonald's. But he would always try to get me to smoke weed, right? And I'd always be like, nah, I don't want no weed, nah. Finally, one day, I was like, okay, fine. Let's smoke some weed. And I went to my neighbor's house. I think her name was Katie. Yeah, Katie. And she was really cool. And me and my uncle went over to Katie's apartment, right? It was like really close to my grandma's apartment. And the first time I ever took a hit of weed, I seen this trippy, colorful rainbow pattern just in the air, like that. Wait, or is it like that? That big? Maybe it was just like, it was like swirly, colorful, weird pattern design. And I only seen it for like maybe a second or two, but I was like, whoa, that's crazy, right? And then I was like, this shit good. Yeah, weed. When I worked at Walmart, it felt like I was being punished for being poor and not making straight A's in school and not knowing what career I wanted. And they always threaten you at Walmart. No. Do this. Do that. You're not fast enough. You did this wrong. And then the customers be like, where's your manager? They, no, couldn't do it. Woo, I'm glad I escaped. And then when I was working at Hardee's and KFC, both of them, I would go to clock in, and right when I was about to clock in, the manager would tell me, they'd be like, you don't gotta clock in. You can go ahead and go home. And I'm thinking, bitch, why couldn't you have just called me and let me know not to come to work instead of having me drive all the way down here just for me to not be able to work? Now that is that straight up bullshit. And then my mom, she's like, why don't you try to do real estate? And I'm like, I guess I can try it. Especially if she says she'll pay for it. Might as well try it, right? Could I really make like 40 grand off of just selling one house? That would be the shiznit. That would be a dream come true. Oh my gosh. This filter makes my eyes look so colorful. Isn't that awesome? It's great. This filter has me looking so white. I look like a ghost. When I was living with my mom years ago, her AC had broke, of course, and we were living in this ghetto little like tin roof trailer. It was so small. It was like the smallest place I ever seen. And it was like 100 degrees in that trailer, right? And my mom, she'd be like, my butthole itches. And she'd be like, does your butthole itch? And I'm like, yeah, my butthole itches. It's all sweaty. She's like, mine's all sweaty too. I'm so glad I escaped out of there. I think they demolished that trailer now. It was so raggedy. She would let everything break because she thought they would raise the rent if she told them about the stuff that was broken. So she would just let everything break. And then in the back room, she didn't ever really go in the back room. She had put like a mouse trap, like one of those sticky pads where you catch bugs and mice on it. She put one of those in the back room, right? Guess what was on it? A dead mouse. Oh no, it gets even more interesting. It was a freaking skeleton. It was the skeleton of the mouse. That thing had been sitting in that closet so long, all its fur and organs and everything disintegrated into dust. So I was breathing in mouse dust. It sucked balls. But guess who picked the dang mouse up and threw it away? Me. Of course, right? Of course. Of course I put gloves on. I'm not just gonna touch a dead skeleton mouse with no gloves on. I couldn't believe it was in the back room. And then in the kitchen, when I was living with my mom, I opened up the drawer. Guess what was in the drawer? A whole big ass pile of dead ants. She had like left candy or something in the drawer and it melted. So a whole bunch of ants came to eat it. But then I guess because it's so fucking hot in that trailer, it was like 100-something degrees in there. Or it'd be super cold. But she'd use like, ugh. And there's just so many dead ants in the drawer. And guess who tried to clean the ants out? Me! I got most of the ants out of the drawer. They were like all stuck to the drawer and shit. So nasty. And when she would use those kerosene heaters, and they would turn her walls black. And then when one of them would break, she would throw them in the living room and pile them up. Right where she had me sleeping, on the floor in the living room. And I said, Mom, we can't just keep all these broken kerosene heaters in the living room. So then finally we picked them up and brought them to the dump. Thank God. She had me sleeping on a freaking yoga mat and one of those, a tiny little, like this thick of a blow-up mat, like one you would use for camping for a single person. So I would take the yoga mat and put it on top of the other mat so I can have some comfort to it. Ain't that some damn bullshit? Had me sleeping on the floor when I was living with her. And we had 2 bedrooms. Like, one of the bedrooms could have been my room. But no. That other room was full of old furniture from when I was a little kid. Because when my mom left my dad, she didn't want my dad to have anything. So she tried to take everything that she could from my dad. And most of it was all piled up in that back room. And I said, Mom, why don't we get this old furniture out of here so I can make this my room? But no. Did she care? She did not give a flying flip that I was sleeping on the floor. And I slept on the floor with my mom for probably about 10 months. 10 months. No bed. Just floor and little ghetto mats. Isn't that just wonderful? Well, good thing I escaped from that. Yes! I'm so glad I escaped. Now I get to sleep on a bed? Yeah. Let me think what else is funny. I'm gonna brainstorm of something funny I can think of from my life. I'll be back in just a second. When my little brother, Colin, he would shit in his diaper, right? And he was getting to be explorative, right? He would stick his hand in his diaper and be like, ew. He'd be like, ew. And I'd be like, what? What is this? And then there was shit on his hand. And then I'm pretty sure he smeared it on the furniture or the walls a few times, probably. I just couldn't believe he stuck his hand in his diaper. Oh my gosh. My grandma, she made me work at McDonald's for my first job because my grandma would make me loiter inside Walmart because my grandma didn't trust me to be home alone during summer vacation. So I had to spend my summer vacation loitering at Walmart because my grandma thought I was going to sit there and do arts and crafts in the garden center on one of those swinging chair things. Do you really think I'm going to sit there all day long and do arts and crafts? Fuck no. I went and I stole like CDs and like people would walk up to me and they'd be like, hey, what you doing? I'm like, my grandma makes me sit here and do arts and crafts. And they'd be like, you want to smoke some weed? I'm like, yeah. So I'd go leave Walmart because my grandma was a cashier, right? How is my grandma gonna watch me all day long? If she's a cashier and I'm in the garden center, she couldn't watch me all day long. So I'd go leave with people and smoke weed and come back. And I don't think I ever got in trouble for that. Because I was able to make it back in time before my grandma got off work. I couldn't believe she thought I was going to sit in Walmart for like 8 to 9 hours per day, every day, during summer vacation. What a bullshit way to spend summer vacation, right? And then, the Walmart that my grandma worked at in Knoxville, Tennessee, it had a McDonald's inside of the Walmart. And my stepmom would even make fun of me, and she would say, you're gonna work at Walmart. And of course, I end up working at fucking stupid piece of shit McDonald's and Walmart. Which is like torture. And that was my first job, of course. And I look at the screen where you make the burgers and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna fuck these burgers all up. How am I gonna make this? I was scared of that. Like, I really thought I probably would fuck everything up of being so nervous and stuff. And they had a cotton candy machine. So instead of like making burgers I think I might have took orders sometimes. Nah, I think I was mostly making cotton candy and like checking the soda station. But I mostly just made the cotton candy and put that out all over the store. I was like, hell yeah, I'm just making cotton candy. Woo! I love making me some cotton candy. It's kind of hard to fuck that up. Just pour the sugar in it and spin it around. But she made me loiter at that Walmart for the whole summer vacation. Like, it's crazy. And then she worked at a daycare. And she had to walk to work. I'm like, Grandma, why don't you have a car? I don't even remember what she said. She probably couldn't afford it. I don't know. But that was some damn bullshit, having to walk or take the city bus everywhere. Hell no. Now I have a car. Yeah, it's a piece of shit, ghetto, old 2004 Kia Rio. But it runs very good, so I might as well just keep it until it blows up. Yay! The paint is coming off my car. And you can tell it's old as dirt. But it's okay. Because my mom has 3 cars, and all 3 of them give her problems, and they're newer cars than mine. But it's mainly because the people at these car places fuck her over. Like, she went to one car place. They gave her a practically dead battery. She came home and it wouldn't run no more. At Ed's Tire. Fuck them. And then she bought a Nissan Sentra the other week. And they sold her a freaking dud. She said it was leaking radiator fluid, and then it was going like 5 miles per hour. She needs to hurry up and try to get her money back or get them to fix it. Because she does not need to have 3 damn cars. That's too many cars, unless if you're like super rich or something. I don't know, I just have 1 car. Hell, lots of people don't even have 1 car. Oh my gosh, it makes my eyes look so pretty. Let me think of something else funny. The thought will come to me here in a second. And then when I was working at Subway, I would be going the speed I should go. You know how like when you make their sub and they say what they want on it and you put the shit on it? I would just do exactly what I needed to do, right? And the old manager bitch lady, she's like, you're going too slow. And I'm thinking, no, I'm not. She was just mad because I wasn't 18 yet. And when you're not 18 at these shitty jobs, if you're under 18, usually you can't work as many hours as you normally would if you were over 18. She was just mad that I wasn't over 18 and I couldn't work as many hours as she wanted me to. So she lied and said I wasn't moving fast enough when really that was some bullshit. And even when I stocked the shelves at Walmart, when I worked at the Ramsey Walmart, the Edward bastard that used to work there, he'd be like, Rachel, you're moving too slow. Go faster, or we're gonna put you in another department. And I'm thinking, you motherfucker. I was too going fast. See, it's like no matter how fast you go at Walmart, they're always gonna say, move your ass faster. No matter how fast you go. I mean, there are times when they'll be like, good job. You're doing good. Great. Yeah. But most of the time at these low-paying jobs, usually it's getting either harassed by the customers or getting harassed by your boss. And it just seems like both the customers and the managers are ready to spank that ass or rip you apart or cuss you out. So I'm like, fuck this shit. But at least right now I have enough money to last for a little while before I have to reapply to one of these shitty, low-paying, crappy jobs. There's plenty of jobs around where I live. They're just like low-paying retail and gas stations and shit that I don't want to do. Maybe I could just be like, hey, Mom, can I have $1,000? Maybe she'd be like, yeah. That'd be nice. Well, she did give me a little bit. But I won't say how much. Oh, wait, I kind of did say it. Oh, well. Look how beautiful my teeth are. They're so straight. Oh, and they're naturally that straight. That is cool, right? They're just naturally super straight. I got lucky as fuck, didn't I? Even the Queen of England, she's richer than... I'm not rich, but she's fucking rich off of that reptilian money. And her teeth are crooked as fuck. And I'm just a poor little peasant girl, and I got straight ass teeth naturally. Amen and hallelujah. Thank you, God. But I got buck teeth. But it's okay. Oh, my Kiki's sleeping next to me. Did you know that the sand on the beach is really made out of fish poop? Ew, and I used to walk all up in the sand. I didn't know it was fish poop. I forget what kind of fish it is. I don't know if it's like a parrotfish. I'll have to look it up. Ew. So when you make sandcastles, you're making sandcastles and fish poop. We gotta get to the mountains anyways, because the water's rising all over the world. Get to the mountains, yo. There ain't nothing wrong with the mountains. The mountains have beautiful waterfalls. Especially when I was in Cherokee. When I was in Cherokee, North Carolina, at Job Corps, they would take us to trips out in the woods to go hiking. There's so many beautiful waterfalls by the mountains. But guess what's also in the mountains? I think there's alien bases inside some of the mountains. Like that Brown Mountain in North Carolina. Because people say they see like UFOs and like people getting abducted by Brown Mountain. So don't go to Brown Mountain. No, don't get far away. Get far away. Look at that shit right there. Doesn't that look gross? It's like a blood vessel. Ew. It looks like a black spot. And I tried to put makeup over it, but you can still see it. It looks so gross. Oh, well. Let me think. What else is funny? Let me think. This video is long enough anyways, but let me think a little more. Yep, this video is definitely long enough. And it feels like my stomach is... I'm so hungry, it feels like my stomach's starting to eat itself. So I probably need to hurry up and go eat something before I die. And hopefully I'll make another funny video soon because I love funny stuff. Oh my gosh, I know what my next video is going to be. is gonna be of what my boyfriend sent me, that someone sent him, of these funny looking masks of people trying to protect themselves from the COVID virus. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so freaking funny, because people, they'll put like a whole bag, like a trash bag or something, or like a Walmart bag, and they'll put the whole bag over their head. That shit looks funny. That's my next video. Yay! How exciting. Now I better go eat, because oh my gosh, it's like the end of the day and I haven't eaten nothing because I'm so freaking slow and lazy. I need to not be lazy. I need to get motivated and eat me some food so I don't die. Thank you for watching this very long video. You will see me in another video soon. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.